Usually, when people are talking about anti-Semitism, they are referring to the Nazis, they're referring to the Nazis from Europe, the Nazis from the Middle East, the Nazis from America, all types of people that are anti-Semites. But there's a mistake. There's a mistake. Just like Rabbeinu Harav Aaron Feldman said in his letter, those anti-Semites that you're looking at on the news, in the media, they're not your enemy. You are. What do you mean you are? The Jews are the enemy? Yes. Your conquerors, your destroyers will come from within you. Okay, fine, we cause each other problems, but what about anti-Semitism? No. The biggest anti-Semites are Jews. How so? This chidush I learned from my dear Rabbi Ephraim today, and literally this is like a treasure hidden in plain sight. Here the Chazon Ish is telling us, Avraham Avinu passed his teachings, his learnings, to Yitzchak. Yitzchak to Yaakov. Yaakov is the grandson of Avraham. And Yaakov studied for 14 years in the Yeshiva of Shem and Evel. All of us knew this. All of us have heard this 500 times. Every year you hear this at least once. When you read the parasha, Yaakov Avinu learned in Yeshiva for 14 years. The Yeshiva of Shem and Evel. Who is the Rosh Yeshiva of the Yeshiva of Shem and Evel? Shem. What did Yaakov do there? Learn Torah. Meaning that if you are one of those people in the Zionist newspaper, religious or otherwise, that is publicizing filthy things like this picture that says that the Torah scholars should become soldiers instead of ones that take advantage of the soldiers, as what they're portraying here is. If you are against the Jewish people learning and dedicating their entire life to learning Torah, then you are anti-Shem. You're anti the Yeshiva of Shem. You're against Shem. Why? He is the original Rosh Yeshiva, where Yaakov Avinu, Yaakov our father, learned in his yeshiva. When you are anti-Shem, you're anti-Semite, because that's where the Semite comes from the name Shem. Anti-Shemi is anti-Semite in Hebrew. So anyone that wants to use the anti-Semite card against the Gentiles, against the Nazis, against whoever is in the news and whoever is not in the news, in politics or otherwise, should do a little bit more homework on their own anti-Semitism and check if they themselves are not anti-Semitic against the Torah. Because, after all, what makes us Jews if it's not the Torah? You're not a Jew because of the place you were born. There are Jews all over the world. You're not a Jew because of the food you eat, as there are plenty of people around the world that eat the same types of foods. You're not a Jew because of the way you look, because there are certainly people that look like Jews and there are certain people that are not. There's no Jewish look. Jews come in all walks and sizes. Tall, short, black, white, yellow, brown. There is no Jewish look. While many think the typical Jewish look is like a, American, Ashkenazi, European look, the reality is there are many Jews that don't look like that. There are Jews that are black. There are Jews that are look like the people from India. There are Jews that look like people from different parts of Asia, like China. There are Jews that look Middle Eastern, like myself. There are literally Jews of all shapes and sizes. What makes all of us Jews is not the look. It's not the food. And you can't even say it's your mother. Why? Because the only thing that makes it due to your mother is because of the Torah that says that. It's not because your mom told you you're Jewish and therefore you're Jewish. Because a lot of people say their mom told them a lot of things. Doesn't mean that it's necessarily always true. The Torah said, if your mother's Jewish, you're Jewish. If you converted to Judaism Orthodox, you're Jewish. So, in essence, when a person is fighting against anti-Semitism, they should at the very least check if they themselves are not anti-Semitic. If they themselves are not against the Yeshiva of Shem, the Semite Yeshiva, because that is what makes us Jewish. Now, what kept us Jewish, Rabotai? You see, after Yaakov Avinu studied in the Yeshiva of Shem for 14 years, he had to go down to Egypt. He had to go down to America. He had to go down to Poland. He had to go down to Ukraine. He had to go down to Russia. He had to go down to Brazil. He had to go down to all types of places that are not Israel. That there's assimilation everywhere. That there is immorality. That there is all types of things that are against the Torah. But he had to make sure that we stay loyal to the Torah. And therefore Yaakov Avinu commanded his son, Yehuda, go down there first, build me a yeshiva, and then we'll figure out where we're going to live. Because the yeshiva is what's going to keep us loyal to God. The Torah is what's going to keep us loyal to God, not the house. Not whether we have 2 floors or 3 floors, not whether we have a 1-car garage or a 4-car garage, not whether we have a really nice food section in the local supermarket that has kosher products. No. What's going to keep us loyal to God is if we have a place to learn Torah in peace. So go build that first. Yehuda did it. And Yehuda fulfilled a couple of mitzvot there. One, he built the yeshiva. But 2, he fulfilled the mitzvah that even the Gentiles have to fulfill, which is honoring the parents. We are meant to be a light unto the nations, not to follow their misguided practices. Remember, every Jew has to remember that he's a Jew and she's a Jew. We don't celebrate non-Jewish holidays, even if they seem harmless. It's a zilzul, disrespect to the Torah.